Why you actually doing a rowing movement for a push workout? Usually I go with 2 warm-up sets or 3 warm-up sets.
Most of us don't know how to actually arrange the right seatment for an inclined bench. After doing a set, intense set, and then flexing your muscle, which you have just done, gives you growth in your muscle. Okay, Ashwin, are you natty or not? What is up, people? Welcome to another episode of Training with Influencer. In today's episode, we will be training with a bodybuilder, and bro, this guy, trust me, he is huge. And we will be asking him few questions. I will assure you that this whole series, this whole episode will be an episode with a lot of information and a lot of knowledge for you to take it in. In this video, we will not only be training with a coach, but he's also a natural bodybuilder. Meet Ashwin. Ashwin is a men's physique pro athlete, and there are a lot of questions I want to ask him as a natural athlete. So without any further ado, let's get this started. So today we will be training with Ashwin, and I have no clue how is this happening. I've been watching his content. It's been 2 years, believe it or not. So from the time I started prep, first time I came to know about you was during a prep. And I came to know you through my coach, and he showed me a physique. I'm like, there is no way this guy is natural. There is no way this guy is natural, and we will get to know. Wait until the end. And today I will be going through a push workout. You will take me through your push workout, okay? From warm-up to everything. I want to learn a lot from you. You tell me how it's gonna be, and we'll start from a warm-up.
Yeah.
All right.
So the first thing I do is warm up with some basic movements
Okay.
to increase the blood flow within your muscles and also to feed those movements into your joints.
Okay. So the main idea behind a warm-up is just to increase the blood flow.
Yeah, the first thing is to increase the blood flow, and the second thing is you're fresh from work or you're fresh from something else. Your joints are not ready to perform the actual training, right?
Right.
So you just perform some pushes to feed the push movement into your joints and increase the blood flow to make you more warmed up. That's the intention of our warm. Why you're actually doing a rowing movement for a push workout is that, so when you're pushing, you're going to be bracing your back against the bench and you're going to be creating the thrust against the bench, right? Yeah. So you need your back to be warmed up as well.
Most of them don't warm up their back while
they think it's not relevant, but you need to have your back warmed up as well, because you're bracing your back against the bench and pushing it against that, creating the thrust, right? So you need to have your back warmed up as well if you're going to be having that good push session. In bench process, so what you do is, usually I go with 2 warm-up sets or 3 warm-up sets.
Okay.
Here, once again, we're going to be doing the same movements.
Okay.
You're going to pick up, like, if your maximum weight is around 40 kgs on either side, what you do is you pick up like 50 to 60% of the maximum weight.
Okay.
And the first warm-up set, you will do it for 8 reps. The second warm-up set, you will do it for 5 reps. The third warm-up set, you will get closer to that 40 kg mark, but do like 1 or 2 reps.
Okay.
So this is just basically to increase the blood flow within your muscles and to prepare yourself. You can't directly go and do a PR. You can't directly go and do a top set. You need to be prepared for that.
Most of us don't know how to actually arrange, the right seatment for an inclined bench.
Yeah.
What do you think is the right seatment? The degrees and everything, the right way to have a good incline Smith machine bench press.
Okay, so basically the inclination might differ for person to person. So, but general thumb rule is somewhere between 30 to 40 degrees. You don't want to go too upright. You're going to be loading your traps or your delts. You don't want to go a very less inclination. That's going to be like a flat chest press, right? So the best way to go is like 30 degree of inclination. and make sure you're pressing it against your shoulders on top of this particular point, so where you're pressing it against your chest. So that should be a basic thumb rule, I would say.
Okay.
So it also depends upon the body anatomy, how his structure is and
So it
how
depends on how a person, if a person can feel much better in
Yeah.
another position,
Yes,
just go
yes,
for it.
yes. Incline is a great way to grow your chest muscles, and especially a few people might flare their elbows back, so
Yes.
it's important to make sure that you need to keep your elbows in, because when you're flaring your elbows too much, you're going to be loading too much of your delts, right? So basically, this position feels much comfortable to me, but a little bit backward, yeah. So like I mentioned, so this is where you need to have your things here. Yep, this feels much better.
Looking at the quality of your muscles, and I've been seeing you, the density, the quality, the thickness, everything is pretty outstanding. Would you tell it is completely because of your genetics?
I wouldn't say it is completely because of my genetics, but it's the time you spend in growing these muscles. Like,
How long have you been?
I've been training for the past 10 years. So
10 years.
yeah, so I started my lifting right after my schooling.
Okay.
So I've been lifting for 10 years. I was an athlete actually, so I was a footballer. Before that, I was an 100-meter sprinter. So it's you keep training these muscles for a long period of time, like. So that's where the definitions, the details, and the density comes from.
Right.
You can never build these in a couple of years.
Okay.
So you can never build these in 4 years. You will always have to take that time. So that's the difference between these new people who are coming into the journey and the experienced ones who are having those density already. So you can never get this. You can be an enhanced athlete, you can be a natural athlete, no matter who you are. But you will always have to put the time and effort into it.
Right.
Keep on putting your consistent effort, no matter if you're getting recognized, no matter if you're getting appreciated for the effort you're putting in. At one point, it's going to turn around. So you just have to keep knocking until it turns up. Yeah.
I keep asking a lot of questions about genetics because looking at your physique, anyone would just think it's about genetics. But do you think we Indian genetics and foreigners, is there a difference? And if there's a difference, or where are we lacking?
I think Indian genetics, especially when you compare with Europeans, the one major advantage we have is with regards to men's physique is the tiny waist. The waistline which we have, when you compare it to the Europeans, they have a much broader waistline. They have those thick and dense muscles. But those guys can do really well in bodybuilding. But with regards to men's physique, I think Indians really do good. And the Koreans as well. They are going to be neck on neck. It's going to be a tough challenge for us. I see. See, unless you're competing at an Olympia level, you will never have the reason to blame on your genetics. You're going to be competing in state level or your national level. So here, the amount of genetics can influence your placings is going to be very marginal. So as long as you put in the right effort for a period of time, you're going to get the win no matter what. But if you look at Olympics level, where there are all athletes who have been training for 20, 15 plus years and have been consistent with their nutrition, everything, then that is where that genetics could play an edge. But here, complaining that the guy who lifts more than you has better genetics because of you, that's totally crap, man.
Right,
You
right.
just have to work a little harder.
Okay, right now since we are doing a push workout, what do you think a proper push workout should look like? I'm talking about how many exercises of chest exercises, how many exercises of shoulder exercises, how many exercises of triceps.
So, I get asked this all the time. The one thing is, when I design a program for someone, the first thing they ask is, you have given me only 3 sets of chest workout. So, I think this is not sufficient for me. But honestly speaking, if you train like 2 sets till failure in all these 3 variations, that would give you like 6 sets to failure. Your chest would have been already fatigued. There is no other way you can go for another 2-3 variations at all. You don't need to do that. Training and working out. You do not work out. You have to train. You have to train like you're going for a battlefield. You have to push your limits, train till failure, and that's when your muscle fatigues. Okay, so you're not just going to the motions, but pushing your absolute limits.
So I have this doubt in my mind. Do you think after doing a set, intense set, and then flexing your muscle, which you have just done, gives you growth in your muscle?
I think it's a good way to feel those muscles actually. So it gives you more of a satisfaction. It gives you more of a confidence in that perspective, and also helps you to pose much better. Once you start posing when you're really pumped up, it gives you the real picture of how your muscles are. So that's why people tell you to pose right after your hitting a top set. So it's not gonna improve the muscle growth or something, but it gives you a better mind muscle connection, as well as give you a proper definition or how you can expose or express those muscles. That's how you need to see it.
So, how do you perform your lateral raises?
So basically, similar to other workouts as well. So I get a couple of warm-up sets, maybe light or 10, 7.5 say, yeah, kgs. I do like 10 reps of warm-up, and then I basically like to spam my lateral raises with some drop sets. I start with the heaviest of the weights. I go for 10 reps on the heaviest weight, then drops the weight a little and go for another 10 reps, and drops the weight a little more and go for another 10 reps. So I do 40 sets of one working set with dropping 2.5 kg with each set.
Ashwin, I want to ask you 3 tips you would like to give someone who is starting a gym. 1, someone who is an intermediate. 2, someone who is competing. Okay? One by one, 3 tips.
So
You can hold, I'll just do one side, okay?
So basically, if you see the sport of bodybuilding is like a pyramid. So there are 3 categories. One, you have the topmost are the athletes who are preparing for their contests, so they have very little flexibility. And bottom are just lifestyle clients who want to stay fit. They have a wide bandwidth of flexibility. So you need to consider this as a pyramid. So, but what you need to do is just try to lay out a plan and stick to the plan and stay consistent. That's the first thing you need to do. And the second most thing is start pushing your limits, progress in your training, start tracking your progress. People come to the gym, they just lift weights and go home. But if you need to get to the next level, you need to start tracking your progress, start tracking how your lifts are getting progress week after week. That's something which is really important. And the other thing is you need to stay patient as well. So bodybuilding is different and competitive bodybuilding is different. Just because you're coming to the gym and building some good amount of muscle tissues doesn't mean that you have to hurry up the process and go on to stage and compete. In the process of bodybuilding, so the most difficult part is that building those muscle tissues. So when you get into the journey, what you need to focus on is build those muscle tissues for 3-4 years before you even think about competing.
Because the muscle maturity, right?
Exactly. Because there are going to be shows. There are definitely going to be shows year around. You don't have to hurry the process. Right. You just have to, because placing 3rd or 4th, people might forget. They're not going to remember you.
It's always our number 1.
But the most important priority is your physique. You're going to carry this physique throughout your life. So make sure you build that muscle tissues, which is going to be there for your longer period of time rather than those focusing on those stage victories, all those. The most important thing I would say is building those hard-earned muscle tissues.
All right. Okay. Ashwin, are you Natty or not?
I'm Natty.
What do you have to tell those people who have been accusing you as not natural? There is no way you can achieve this naturally.
So one thing is, before accusing of someone, you need to try and do what I have been doing for at least 2-3 years. See, you just follow me on Instagram, you just see my physique, you have no clue what I've been doing for the past 10 years, and you just come on to comment me as fake Natty. That's bullshit, right? So you first you put in the work, you put in the work I've been putting for 6-7 years. and see what is truly capable of, a natural athlete can be capable of, and then you comment me. So anyone who has been in this field, anyone who has been or following me for a while, for the last 4 or 5 years, would know definitely the amount of work I've been putting in. If you look at my pictures from 4 years or 5 years, I have not gained too much of muscle mass. I've been gaining very slowly. This amount of muscle mass for someone enhanced athlete can gain in a span of 1 year, but I've been gaining in the span of 5, 6, 7 years, right?
What do you have to tell about the bulking thing you have done? You have done a mini cut also in
Yeah,
between.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what is the whole
It's all about discipline, man. Once you see the results, it becomes an addiction actually. So I've been putting a lot of effort in the initial part of my years. I've been putting like there's a horse, just blindfold it, and if you ask him to run, it will run like that. So I was doing that. It didn't yield me the results. The reward was not as much as it was in the last couple of years. So once I had this vision, once I came to understand what we need to do, where we need to focus, I always emphasize the 4 fundamentals: your nutrition, your training, your recovery, and your mental stability. So these 4 things, I try to focus on as much as possible. I try to stay disciplined.
Okay.
My nutritions were on point every single day. My training was on point. I had a good support from my family as well. So people think that bodybuilding is an individual sport, but I would say it's a team game.
But
So
they say bodybuilding is a selfish sport. Do you?
yes, it is a selfish sport. You just I'm just smiling because when you said this, I thought about my wife.
Like, yeah, I know. Family members, a lot of
Because the amount of sacrifice I've been making is very, very minimal when you compare the sacrifices she's been making.
It's a lot of sense. It's a lot of sense.
I need this clip separate, man. I just want to send to my wife because the amount of things she's been putting into this prep, the amount of things, because when you have too much responsibilities of your parents on your shoulders, you will not be able to carry your dream. So the first thing is your parents has to stay fit. They have to be staying healthy, so you don't have that mental pressure on you to take care of them. Especially the last 8-6 weeks, I've told this a million times. Bodybuilding is different, and competitive bodybuilding is an entirely different game. So the last 8 weeks gets a lot more harder. So unless you have support, unless you have that partner who understands you better, who knows what you have been going through, it doesn't happen over a night. The first prep when I was with her, she was like,
Very hard to understand.
she couldn't figure it out. What the fuck is happening with this guy?
Yeah, can I even move forward with this?
Yeah. She was totally confused. She was totally worried. And then we had this conversation. Like, see, the prep, Ashwin wouldn't be Ashwin in that last 8 weeks.
Right.
So you will have to tolerate me. You will have to pamper me. In fact, so you will have to treat me like a kid. I would get totally reckless. I would get totally annoyed for the silliest of reasons.
I don't understand.
So you will have to educate your environment. You will have to make sure that you have a very sustainable, very positive environment around you to have this. If you see any good athlete, any good top level athlete, they would say there was this person who was with me through my tough times. Might be a coach, or might be his partner, might be his mom, dad, but there might be one person who understands completely. So if you have that person, you might be the luckiest athlete on the planet. And yeah, getting back to the question, so you need to put in the work. You need to put in the work for a year. See, before 2020, nobody gave a shit about Ashwin. Nobody knew.
No one knew who Ashwin.
Knew Ashwin. So it took me just one show. I've been putting the work over the years. I've been telling my athletes, my clients, to focus on these fundamentals, but still it was not worth it. So once I turned pro,
That is it.
that's it. Everyone said, oh,
Mark your name.
yeah, that's it, right? So it's not about the title. It's not about the winning titles or shows. It's about how consistent you have been for a period of time. That's how you need to look at this. So for anyone who comments on fake Natty, 2 things.
They're uneducated.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. So if you want me to prove, if you want me to do a blood test, if you want me to be my guest, take my blood test.
Honestly, no, bro. Why? They don't even deserve it. I honestly.
No. I just they can spend some bucks and help
exactly.
me, right? That's no sense, right? So if you want me to give you a blood test given, come please take it. Off season, on season, or just before I step on the stage.
Maybe even monthly once I can make
Yeah. That would work, right? So it's totally bullshit, man. I just feel a lot more complimented actually. So a lot of people think that this is not achievable naturally. So I think I've been proving a lot of people wrong, right? So I take it as a top level compliment.
Alright, that is all for boys for this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Lot of information, lot of things you guys have gained from this. I have gained from this, lot to learn, lot of space for me to improve. So make sure to subscribe and grow with me. Give this video a like. That is all, boys. Until next time, peace.